Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here for chapter 14 of Scouts, and I know I keep giving you kind of false promises like, yeah, we'll do at least 4 posts or chapters, whatever. Maybe 3, maybe 2, and then I don't think I posted in like the last 2 weeks. But surprisingly, ever since school has finished, I feel like I've somehow become even more busy. Not sure how that happened, but it did, and I'm doing my best, so just bear with me. We are gonna finish this book. We're going to. I will not finish the book, so just be patient with me, and I know you have, and I really appreciate that. I think we're all kind of in this crazy season together, so I feel that support. Also, I'm in another new room for recording because my brother and his family are moving to Texas. We live in Florida. They're moving to Texas, and so they're kind of staying with us for a couple of days just on their like farewell tour before they go. And that's like my recording studio. So rude. Just kidding. I actually kind of like this. That's why I keep looking over here, because that's where I can see myself, and I really like this background. This, right here, I'm going to paint stripes on the wall. Pretty excited about that because it's a pretty big wall, and having to actually like decorate it is just way beyond me. So I was like, what if I just paint stripes? And so that's what we're going to do. Another project for another time. Just like everything else. But that's okay. It's great. Everything's great. Chapter 14, without further ado. Actually, pause. Furthering still. Recap. In chapter 13, they found, 12 and 13, they found like a little metal sphere or silver sphere thing, and the silver dust, they realized there was a lot more of it, and then they think now maybe aliens are involved. So that's where we left off, and that's where we're picking up. Here we go. The word alien totally consumes me for the next 30 minutes. Gigantic ones with gray skin and misshapen heads. Little green ones with squeaky voices and bugged out eyes. Tall and possibly skinny ones with jagged teeth. Swallowing, I glance over to Finn, the one who initially planted the alien idea. I look at his blonde curls, his dirty polo, and the side of his calm face as he merrily strolls along. He doesn't seem fazed at all that we might be tracking an alien. Then again, he's always the one who plants these crazy supernatural ideas in our heads anyway. Finn stuck his face in mine. It's a memory. I feel like I have to tell you it's a memory because you can't see like the font change, so it's a memory. Finn stuck his face in mine. I heard she's a vampire, he whispered. And without moving his head, he rolled his green eyes to the left, across the field to where a gym teacher stood. I rolled my eyes in the same direction, and my brain began to spin with ways not to get bitten. Finn dug around his backpack and pulled out 3 necklaces chunked with raw garlic. He handed one to me. Here, put this on. Crinkling my nose, I put the necklace on, and he did the same. And the 3rd necklace? I asked. Finn looked grim. You distract her, and I'll sling it over her head. I nodded. I'm going in. Yeah, Finn's always the one bringing up this kind of stuff. Like that time he convinced us that werewolves had moved into our neighborhood. Don't even get me started with how much trouble we got in over that one. Sneaking over to the new neighbor's house on the first full moon and hanging mistletoe from every tree in their yard and on their front porch too. Mistletoe's supposed to awaken a werewolf. At least, that's what Finn said. With a sigh, he glances over to me now. My feet hurt. Rocky pipes up from the back of the group. Of course your feet hurt. Who wears penny loafers to go hiking? Finn spins to face him. At least I have style. All you ever wear are jeans and muscle tees. You know what? Rocky takes a step towards him. You stink. Rocky hesitates a second, thrown off by the comment. Yeah? Well, you do too. I do not. Finn lifts his arm and smells his pit. Okay, maybe I do, but my Old Spice is back there with Mary Jo and Otis. I can't help that I stink. I try to whistle like Edge did, but I end up spitting more than anything. so I hold my hands up instead. Even though that didn't work before. Finn and Rocky just keep arguing. Oh, would you two shut up? I snap. We all stink. Just don't go smelling each other and we'll be good. Scarlet giggles and we all scowl at her. What's so funny? She grins. I was just imagining them as stepbrothers and sharing a room. Rocky and Finn both get real quiet. I look at Rocky first to see his jaw moving into a hard clench. And then I look at Finn to see his facial expression slowly going from annoyed to smiling. Hey, Finn says, do you think we'll live at your house or mine? Come to think of it, either house will have to share a room. That is, until your sister goes off to college and then one of us can have her room. The muscles in Rocky's jaw tighten even harder. I'm not sharing a room with you. Finn's smile fades. What's your problem? My problem, Rocky grinds out the words, is that I don't want our parents getting married. I don't want to be your brother. What don't you get about that? I suck in a breath. Beans cringes and Finn's eyes narrow. Oh yeah? Well, I don't want to be your brother either. Fine. They stand there for a few seconds, fuming at each other, and it's Rocky who turns away first and charges off. Oh my gosh, Scarlet says. That was so mean. I wish Finn could see what's really going on with Rocky. Hey, I quietly say to Finn, he didn't really mean all that. I think this is more about his mom than anything. I think, why do you always take everyone else's side? Finn snaps, turning on me now. My jaw drops open. I don't always take their side. You do too, and I'm sick of it. With that, Finn charges off, just like Rocky did, and Scarlet hurries after him. I stay right where I am, unable to comprehend what just happened. Beans motions ahead. Forget about it. Let's go. I jab my finger at Finn's retreating back. Did you hear what he said? Yeah, Beans shrugs. It's kind of true, though. What? I turn to face Beans. It is not. Is it? Quickly, my brain spirals through all the disagreements we've had over the past year or so. Rocky and Finn fighting over Frogger. Finn and Beans arguing over homework. Rocky and Finn disagreeing about how to roast a hot dog. Finn and Beans yelling at each other about Halloween costumes. Finn's right. Every single time, I did take either Rocky or Beans' side against his. And that was just this past year. Imagine all the times before that. I just never realized I did that until this very second. Come on, Beans gives my arm a tug. Let Rocky and Finn figure out their parent issues. Just stay out of it. With a nod, I slowly start to follow. I know Rocky and Finn don't need me to settle their argument, but still, this whole thing just stinks. I don't want to stay out of it, especially after what Finn just said. Now I kind of want to settle their argument, to take Finn's side just to show him I can. And to think I thought this trip would be good for them, for all of us, seems to be anything but. They've all got other friends, and now all we do is argue. My stomach drops in a new and horrible thought. What if after this, none of us want to do anything with one another anymore? What if the Scouts won't exist by the time this is over? What if I'm losing my best friends and I didn't even realize it? A couple minutes go by while I keep walking and staring at Finn's back, and all I can do now is think about all the arguments where I never once took Finn's side. Why is that? I like Finn a lot, so it has nothing to do with that. Maybe it's because Finn sometimes gets a little mean, like he did back at camp when he mentioned Beans' big allowance. Though it's not like Finn intends to hurt people's feelings, it just kind of happens. Or maybe I take everyone else's side because Finn always seems so sure of himself. Or because he's a good talker. Or because he gets so much attention in school because of his looks, and I feel like if I take Beans or Rocky's side, it'll show Finn he's not always the best. He's just a normal kid like us. I was purposely messing with his confidence, and that makes me a horrible friend. You don't think it's an alien, do you? Beans asked. Huh? The silver ball. Oh, do you? He hesitates a second before shaking his head. Nah, guess not. I glance ahead to where Edge and Scarlet are walking and talking. Or rather, she's talking and he's politely nodding. I take in his backpack and think of the way he reacted when we found the silver thing. Almost like he knew in advance not to touch it. Leaning into Beans, I whisper, "What do you really think it is?" His eyes narrow like he's been pondering that question the whole time I've been thinking about Finn. I don't know, but I would be incredibly curious to break it open and find out. I like the sound of that. How would we break it open? The seam, if we could wedge a knife or something into it. There was a seam? Bean's eyes brighten with excitement. Oh yeah, it's the first thing I noticed. I look at Edge's backpack again, formulating a plan to get into it, and my eyes lift to see him glancing over his shoulder at me. He smiles, and all kinds of butterflies dance through me. Quickly, I look away, my face so hot I know it has to be red. The trees open to a field covered in at least an acre of tall sugarcane stalks. So tall, they tower above everyone's head, including Edge's. Automatically, I lift up on my toes, but of course I don't see any better. Beans unfolds a sketched map and gives it a long look. I wish I had my compass. Here, Edge tosses him one. Use mine. Thanks. Beans studies the map and the compass for a few seconds. Yep, we gotta go straight through this field. We can go around, but that'll double our time. And you're sure about that map? Edge questions. Beans smirks. I'm sure. Wish one of us was tall enough to get to the other side of this field, though. Edge looks at all of us, and then his eyes land on me. You're the smallest. Taking off his backpack, he gets down onto his knees. Climb up on my shoulders. Between the two of us, you should be able to see the other side. I don't immediately move. Climb up on his shoulders? That means I'll be touching him. Scarlet pushes past me, fluffing her blonde hair as she does. I'll do it. Edge's lips quirk into this puzzled smile, like he has no clue why I'm frozen. I watch as Scarlet wraps her spandex-covered legs around his neck, and he lifts her up high. She gives a little squeal that snaps me out of my nervous haze, and I scowl up at her. That's supposed to be me. Squinting, she peers out across the field of sugarcane. I see the other side, but it's really long way. I can't see anything to the left or the right. Edge lowers her back down, and she takes a bit too much time climbing off. Well, all right then. He picks up Hoppy and starts off through the towering stalks. Here we go. We fall into a sort of hodgepodge clump, with Edge leading the way and all of us using our arms to move green and brown stalks and leaves aside, making our way through the field. Ow, says Finn. Over his shoulder, Rocky shoots him a look. Well, don't walk behind me if you don't want to get hit. Finn flips him off. Rocky ignores it, and I sigh. Scarlet cringes. Ugh, this is awful. How much farther? Beans asks. Why is he asking that? He's the one with the compass. Ow! This from Finn again. Well, stop walking behind Rocky. I snap at Finn before realizing I just took Rocky's side again. Okay, next time I'll take Finn's side. A few more minutes go by and I wipe a bead of sweat trailing down my neck. Rocky turns to look behind us. I follow his gaze to see nothing but cane, and my nerves frazzle a little. I don't like that I can't see the other side. I don't like it at all. What if this is like one of those weird mazes and we never come out the other side? I really hope Beans knows what he's doing. A shadow rolls by and dark clouds move in. Beans nudges me and I glance over to him to see him put his fingers to his lips. He points over to the left where, tucked behind stalks and embedded in the ground, lies another one of those silver balls with matching dust glittering on the ground, and some of the surrounding stalks too. I nod for him to go get it while the others keep moving forward, and Beans tiptoes over to the left. This sphere is smaller than the first one, but just as bright and smooth and silver. Beans takes his pack off and rummages inside. I glance quickly forward to see the back of Rocky. A few more steps and my friends will be out of sight. Back to Beans as he picks up the object with a pair of his underwear. Gross. He wraps the sphere and places it inside his backpack, and then makes his way over to me. Underwear? I ask. He shrugs. I saw that Edge didn't touch the first one, so I figured I better not touch this one. Yeah, but underwear? They're clean. Annie! Edge yells urgently. Beans! Coming! We yell back and take off in the direction we think their voices are coming from. I'm out of breath. Either that was a really long chapter, or it's been a while. So, I don't know, I feel like by that last line where we think their voices are coming from, I feel like they might get lost. And are they the only ones in this sugarcane stock forest thing? Come back next time and find out. I'll see you guys. What does ado mean? Without further ado. Like I know what the expression means, but what does ado mean?